going to check in with Peter Carey's Parrot and Olivier in America. I'm always going to laugh now with Olivier. Um, so yes, it seems like it is the book is going to kind of alternate chapters between the viewpoint of Olivier and Parrot. That is my thought. I'm still in the very much the first section about Olivier, and that is Olivier Jean-Baptiste de Claire de Barfleur de Garmont, a aristocratic young boy who is in the countryside with his parents, the Comte and Comtessa, banished. It seems because the father was very much like, Versailles is going to be the death of us all. He says to the king that if we don't sort our ways, it's not the masses that are going to kill us. It's um, how you're not taxing the aristocracy, um, and all that. It's a very pampered. It gives me the impression of sort of like little Prince Krishna, who was sheltered from all the kind of the brutality and hardness of life, and he's still inside his little bubble here at the thing. He has a baby, the Abbe de, what's his name? He is the Abbe baby, which is the Abbe de Les Londons, who's his tutor. This priest who is his tutor, teaching him the languages, Latin and Greek and all that. There's Audley, kind of a nursemaid, who in the later chapters, when they go to Paris, falls in love with a handsome Austrian guard, and thus they are sent back to the countryside. I don't know if Olivier is sent back because of that, but that's the thing. There's a discovering of, like, the revolution, where they discovers these strange things wrapped up in newspapers, and it turns out it's the bodies of dead birds that have been, I guess, killed by the Revolutionary Guard, are all throttled, and wrapped in newspapers, which show pictures of. It showed a machine, an awful blade, a set of tracks, a rope, a human head severed from its body. It was the king's head. I knew his noble face. A hand held the head separate from the butchered neck, from whence the blood did spurt and flow. An ornament type declared, Que le roi soit d'âme. That's so, and it's this shock. Now we're at the point now where post-revolution, grandfather was taken away and executed. The father stayed, and there's sort of an implication here of, like, why didn't he fight? Why didn't he, like, fight against them? And it's like, well, actually, it's probably the best thing that he could have actually done for his family. But obviously, his wife, the Comtessa, is sort of still in mourning for the king, for the Louis XVI, and all the kind of the greatness there. And now we're getting the restoration with Louis XVIII, and they're continually waiting for the king to visit them, and there seems to be this question of whether he actually will visit them, whether his benefice will fall upon the family. They seem to be eternally, at this point at least, just waiting for him. Yes. This was my mother's father, the great Barfleur, who was no more to me than a name. Barfleur, who had so loved the king, it seemed, that he hectored him, and he chastised him when his advisers were leading him to ruin. It was Barfleur who dared instruct the king to tax the nobility, make the Jews citizens, and let Protestants worship legally in peace. This is courage, said Bebe. It was the Comte de Barfleur who told the king to cut the extravagance at court. He told him to remember the history of Charles I in England. Do you remember who that was? I forget the year, baby. I'm sorry. The year does not matter. He told our king, you hold your crown, sire, from God alone, but you are not going to deny yourself the satisfaction of believing that you also hold your power due to the voluntary submission of your subjects. So actually, sorry, that was my mother's father, the great Barfleur. So that was the grandfather who ends up in such a bad way. You know, no, but and then kind of get the idea of like how Olivier has been raised here. It's like, no, said Baby, for you have been raised in a most peculiar way, poor child. And now I see you have no idea who you are or who your father is. Did he ever tell you he saved my life? No, Baby. Your father is a brave man. To do battle with the citizens from Paris would have been foolish as fighting against a swarm of wasps. Did your father run around shrieking at his pain? No, Baby, I suppose not. In my mind I saw my father standing in a field, a cloud of wasps around him. That is courage. That is character. You do not blame the poor ignorant people, my darling. Do you understand me? The court of Versailles brought this down upon us all. So, yeah, very much at the beginning, we're also kind of getting into the kind of the politics of the matter, and this being starting out with a couple of quotations from Alex de Tocqueville, who apparently Olivier is based upon, who is going to be so interested in this new thing, democracy, and studying it. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I've got anything else I want to say. I think I had a little place marked that I was just going to read, though I have actually read a bit already. I'm just really impressed by Peter Carey's language, just how gorgeous it is. Yeah. Here's a little thing. My lungs were clogged, my heart was disturbed, but my Latin declensions must still be learned. As the day ended, Bebe and I hick hock havoc our way through the strange pale grass up to the old mill on whose steps we rested to eat an apple. It was not yet dark, but I could see through the heavy branches the golden light of our home. I understood it then, as for the first time, not as a castle of pride and strength, but as a weak place, a soft thing in the coming night. I saw my grandfather and father sitting unprotesting in their chairs. I imagined the murderers with their bare bottoms and huge mustaches coming through the gloom along the road from the village, the air dark with stolen wine, the sky alight with burning faggots, only bright smoke curling into the opal sky so that the wispy threads of smoke drew lines on the ancient mirror, which should have reflected back heroic scenes. My papa with his sword drawn, putting the enemy to flight. So, right at the beginning, Olivier has all these kind of romantic, kind of the great noble, noblesse oblige kind of ideas, but they're constantly getting kind of undermined by the surroundings, by the very recent history, and their fall. That this is a fallen aristocracy. This is aristocracy post the great and terrible bloody revolution of France. So yeah. Going well so far. This is me on I'm up to page just 33, but I'm gonna try and get this read by the end of the month, so I'm ready for March Madness. All right, more videos later.